Don in London, hello, and just setting my clock. I tried to do a video earlier and it came out all weird and strange. Anyway, my videos, no wonder they're weird and strange sometimes. My video is all about recovery from addiction, and the addiction can be to substance or to behaviour. My substance over the years was alcohol, my behaviour workaholic, and trying to be perfect in relationships as well, be they business or personal. And my videos all about recovery, sobriety, and trying to make life work one day at a time, a 24-hour program of living. And the gift is, if we stay on the path of sobriety, the 24-hour program of living becomes days, weeks, months, years. So for me, the gift is several years along in sobriety, and the gift of sobriety is we start to understand life a little bit better. It doesn't mean we can actually approach life as if it's a science, although some of us tried. We have to actually acknowledge that there is an art to living. The art of living is the skill of learning a day at a time what works and what doesn't work. And behind that, in the fellowship, it's about three things: emotional, spiritual and physical well-being. And on a daily basis, our emotional well-being will be challenged. Our spiritual understanding will be challenged. And for some of us, it's as simple as spiritual is seeing the truth of now, without denials and without filters. And sometimes the spiritual connection to now is as difficult when we're going through hard times or good times, because we're still learning. So life to me is an art, and although we may be persuaded we can measure how well we're doing by either emotional, physical or spiritual, often the measures we are given by society and civilization are around material things, or what we seem to have in terms of status in society. And in the fellowship of AA, we don't go by materialism or status in society. We just go by, are you sober today, and how was it? And take account of the wisdom learned from the good aspects and the sad aspects. So, No Regrets was the name of my video yesterday, all about powerlessness. And this is January, and January is synonymous with me for the first step of AA, that is, we are powerless over alcohol, and if we drink, life is unmanageable. But there is also the powerlessness over people, places and things, which is really important to understand and acknowledge. Powerless over people is really important to me, especially as I've been in a relationship which has kept going for some time, but has now concluded. And No Regrets really yesterday was where I was. I have no regrets about the relationship and what has happened, because I've learned so much about me and other people and another person, and the fact that another person took the time to be with me for quite a period of time. And we learned a lot from each other, and she has her life to lead and I have mine. And the gift is we went on a journey, I suppose, together, learning about each other, our personalities, our characteristics, our aspirations, and where we came from, where we're here, where we are now, and what we may be like in the future. So the gift, if you like, for me is I do not regret one moment, even though some of those moments were very hard and made me feel very inadequate. What I've learned is more wisdom along the way of how I can cherish people, and to be able to cherish another person and do it unconditionally, and to love them. You know, you could write 1,000,000 words, and still behind all of that is love. And sometimes we might have disliked what went on, or hated the behaviour. As I've said in other videos, we can love a person and hate their behaviour. Not because it's hurting us particularly, but because it's hurting them. And that's just not me judging, it's just observing. So I too am capable of behaviour which is unhelpful to me, and sometimes I need to lose it, and the only way I do that is by getting feedback either from people close to me or what I hear in the rooms of AA, which mirrors what I've been up to. And I feel relieved today. I feel relieved that I know I'm right in my feelings about loving other people, and whether behaviour is hateful or just weird and we can't get on with it, it doesn't matter. We can still love people, and if we have the capacity to love other people, it means that we are able to love ourselves enough to work through these traumatic moments where we don't know whether we want to be with somebody or whether we're better off just trying to find our own path. And we do meet people along the way in different stages of life, and I'm at a different stage of life, maybe to others, and so my outlook has changed. And what is fascinating and interesting and new may actually, for other people, may actually be something that I've understood and dealt with, or have come to a conclusion I'm on a different path. So the art of living is to be accepting where everything is today in reality. The reality of now is so precious and so important, and we need not make any other person responsible or blame any other person for what is. It's just the way it is. And the acceptance is not just saying, okay, I accept that. It's to actually accept and love at the same time, and know it's okay to be on a singular path, because we're not really. We have other connections too, so we make the best use of what is going on, not to utilise and exploit, but to be a part of. And that's the simple answer, to keep on being part of life, to actually start afresh, maybe, in terms of relationships, and readjust to what is, rather than what we may have wished for. So I'm very grateful at the moment. And, I've learned an awful lot over the last few months about me, and tolerance, and understanding really what powerless is. I'm powerless over the fact that we've got roadworks happening outside. And what makes it work for me? Well, the simple answer is this. If we cannot make a relationship work for whatever reason, or the relationship does not go as we might have imagined, it's not to keep on trying to make it so, because if we're trying to make it so, we're using our self-will, our obsession to make it the way we think it ought to be fashioned. And what I'm learning clearly is that we make good connections with people, and we often have common ground, and maybe we wish for more than is, and then we can't make it happen. So now, what do? Simple. I keep with the program of AA, what makes life work for me, and especially with powerlessness. Step one, we are powerless over people, places and things, and if we try and exert power over people, places and things, we are trying to make it as we would will it so, and that is an obsession, or could become an obsession. And the gift is I don't have to try and do that. There is nothing wrong with me, and there is nothing wrong with anybody else in my life right now. We're just on a journey. And I was speaking to my mother this morning, and she's in a fairly okay state, but there have been more calamities around us, and not so much in near family, but in near friends, and things haven't been going too well. And sad news from abroad about a friend of a friend who we all knew. They died on their own and weren't found for a couple of days. It makes us reappraise where we are today and how precious life is, how precious the people are around us, and this thing of cherishing people and not treating people with superficiality or indifference. And the gift today is, as we let go with love, actually it's acceptance and love, which is something I've mentioned before, accepting how things are and being able to love people, even if they're not in our immediate sphere of connection. So the connection these days really is to life as it is, and to cherish people. So me today, what have I done this morning? I've reminded myself of step one, powerless over alcohol, and if I drink, life is unmanageable, and also powerless over people, places and things, because they're just as they are meant to be, and it's not for me to try and control it or make it my way. I just work with the choices I have on a daily basis and work to the best of what can be. And what helps me always, and I emphasize this, it's the prayer and meditation. When we exhort to a higher power, or say a prayer, we're actually saying it to the universe. And whatever the universe is, it is a higher power, and whatever your understanding of God may be, may your God go with you. And my understanding is to the good conscience of living, which we all learn from society and civilization, and that serenity prayer makes up for many things. It makes me able to accept, and it goes like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.